Welcome to our fourth video. This will be the calm before the storm. This is a kind of brief breathing that we are doing just to prepare for the next one, because the next one will be kind of the last of this series. The next video, it's assembly. In the next video, we'll be assembling the action figure that we sanded in the previous video, and why preparing for it is important. Until this point, those who have been following the series of videos from the video 0 to 1 putting to print, 2 post-production, and 3 sanding, up until this point, it was only the makers, right? Those who were going to produce the action figure with 3D printing. But in this point, we are actually gathering with a group of makers that are actually, or may actually, purchase the action figures from the ones who 3D printed them, either from us at PDT or whoever who wanted to produce the action figure for someone else, either by selling it, gifting, or sharing it. So right now it's like the two groups are merging in, so buckle up because we are going to be many. So right now we have two cameras, right? This one in front and one that I have here. I'm trying to have like a kind of over the shoulder look so you can see what I have here. Hopefully you like it and it works. Unfortunately, I couldn't position the camera better, but hopefully this works. So currently here I have all the pieces, right? I have like let's see if I can show them in the camera. So I have a lot of pieces, and these ones are actually not sanded. The process that I've been developing for this series has been very different to what I have been doing throughout my career, because I didn't have to handle this many amounts of pieces. So just as a recap, I print normally. I'm printing like with 5 or 6 printers at the same time. Then I do post-production, that as you have seen in the previous videos, or maybe you didn't, but as you have seen, the procedure that I'm doing is to produce a lot of parts, a lot of action figures at the same time. There are some chokeholds that I haven't been able to process them properly in a way that it's time effective, right? The only part that I think that I won't be able to reduce time in is sanding. Sanding is a process that takes a long time. Currently, sanding one figure takes 1 hour. It's a long time, but that assures us that whoever paints it will have a quality product to paint on. The fact that almost no supports are seen because we have sanded them, and I say almost because we're human and sometimes I can forget or I can not notice one. So now we are in this step. This step also takes a long time. We're going to do it very, very quickly, but it's basically just setting up our figure. I use this chart here to put all the parts that our action figure comes with. So if I kind of bingo my way into fulfilling the whole figure, I will have the whole figure, and that the order would be complete in a sense. But what happens if I do that, and then, since the figure is not sanded, I go and sand it, and I lose a piece? Either to ensure that that not happens, I have to do this process again, or I send the figure without a piece, and depending on which piece, it may be damning for the person because the person wouldn't be able to complete the action figure. Although we send a lot of extra parts to be sure that if anything breaks or if any part gets lost, they can still assemble the figure. It's a gamble in that sense. So what I figured out in this process is that after I do the post-production, I just put all the parts in one bin and sand the whole bin. Once the process of sanding and cleaning and drying and all that stuff it's done, I can then do this step and fulfill the order. And in that sense, I'm almost guaranteed that no piece will be lost. Of course, when shipping, one piece can get lost, but it's not the usual. We usually don't have that issue. It may happen, but we don't. So after we have our pieces sanded, these ones are not, but once we have our pieces sanded, What I'm trying to figure out is a good way to remove the dust from them. What I'm trying now is a spray bottle, the same as in post-production with IPA, but a spray bottle with water to remove the excess dust here, the excess dust inside the articulation, because the excess dust, what it will do, it will make the articulation not loose, but it will make it smoother, so it will hold the poses less. And one very, very, very important step that I mentioned it in the sanding video, but I mention it here now, and I'll probably mention it in the video of assembly, is that never, never, ever connect the pieces with water or humidity or whatever regarding liquids. Let the pieces dry. If you want to clean them, wash them, sand them more or whatever, always let them dry fully. Like give them like a 24-hour cycle with a dehumidifier, because that will basically ruin the articulation, because the dust mixes with the humidity, it creates a paste, and then that's it. You then will have to clean it up. It will create some, not rust, but friction, and it will destroy the articulation. It's not a chemical thing, it's just a physical phenomena. And then you will have to do kind of a custom making thing to fix it. I just want to give you guys the thing as true as possible. I wanted to give it to you as solved as possible, so you can just assemble it and that's it. So I'm trying to figure out the dust thing. Of course, you're going to receive the figures properly dry. So yeah, that's what we're trying to do. Me and my wife, we will go over these super big buckets of parts that I think that there are like maybe 8-10 figures inside here. So we have this one, right? These are just parts. Since I already did this step, I already know that they complete a whole figure, or maybe I'm losing just 1 or 2 parts, that in that case I will just sand one more or just get it from another batch. But for now, let's assemble this figure to show you how it works. So I'll turn to the other camera. Basically, these are all the parts that the figure is composed of. Here you can see, I don't know if you will be able to see it in frame, but you have the name, the web page, and all our logos, and then you have all the parts. So I'm going to do a time lapse, putting all the parts where they should be. So let's get this started. There we go. We have everything set up. And why are we setting this up? So I have a few reasons why. It's not only because I want to check or double check if everything in the order is in order, but also I think this is a good way for people to set up everything before the assembly process. I have printed this action figure, not specifically Charlotte's, but the main base action figure that this figure is based on. We can call it like the prototype. I have assembled it at least 100 times, at least. So I can see each piece and I know where they go, right? Or what it connects to, or which is the order of assembly. With this, I think I can help people understand what they are seeing, or at least start getting familiarized with the pieces, to understand also the magnitude of the project that they have embarked into, and also to appreciate the amount of work that it has, that this project has, right? It's like going up on a mountain, and you go through all the process, and then you go up and you can see all the view. I think this kind of resembles the view. And then you have the second view, that it's when the action figure it's completely assembled and it moves, and it will be more stunning even if the action figure is painted. So I think I want to give a brief overview of the parts that we have here, so you also know what you are going to be dealing with. There are some parts that are self-explanatory, others not so much. But I trust that with the years of action figure collecting that you must have, you will understand perfectly what you will have to do. But in the case that you don't, I'm here to explain. So basically, heads, very simple. They connect to the torso, to the chest. We will have a small neck peg that connects from the head to the torso, to the chest. The neck peg, it's the only one that it's a bit smaller, so the head actually comes off really easily for easy customizing. So we're going to remove the ones that we have already talked about. So then we have the chest that you can see it here. The chest not only has the peg for the neck, but also the dumbbell that connects to the belly, that is here, that is the longer one, that connects to the lower part of the chest, and then to the top part of the belly. All parts have some kind of not signature, but a way to recognize them. The way that they are connected, not to recognize the part, but to recognize which is the top and the bottom, or which part is left and right. And if it doesn't have any, if you understand which part it is, it can connect to both sides. So for example, the belly, since I understand that it may be difficult to understand which part goes up and which part goes down, I added a T inside the articulation that says basically top, so that part would connect with the chest. Let's put the chest aside for a moment to talk about the hip cover. So under the belly, we can connect our T dumbbell that of course connect the unique centered peg into the lower part of the belly, and then you can put on top, you can put the cover. We will go over all the process in the next video, but I just want to give you guys an overview so you know what we will be doing. This is why the setup is important. For me, I can grab whatever part and connect it where it goes, but here we will follow a methodology that I'll later tell you. So in order to put the belt on, that hopefully we can make it flexible. Right now it's very hard, so we are kind of deciding if we're going to use everything out of the bottle, either TOF 74 B2 and heat it, which has presented very, very good results, but we're going to test them further tomorrow. You heat them at a low heat with, I'm using like a foot heater, I think it's called. It's like the flat thing that I use for post-production. If you heat it at a low heat, it gets flexible and it doesn't go back. So you actually are getting flex resin from TOF 74. Or if in the other case, we will use actually flexible resin, white flexible resin, and that we have already tried. It prints well, but it's a bit more expensive. So we want to try, not to try, but yes, to try and keep everything as simple as possible out of the bottle, to as cheaper as possible to produce, and as hassle-free as possible, right? That you don't have to be mixing resins or choosing, testing other resins. Just use one bottle and that's it. The good thing is that if we manage to produce everything with TOF 74, everything costs around $6 to produce this action figure, which is great. So let's continue. In order to connect the belt, you would need to connect it before connected the lower dumbbell, right? Because this goes here like that, and then you connect the dumbbell here. But the problem is that you would need to connect the legs first. So we're going to leave the legs for later after the arms. Right now we're going to remove the assets. For example, we have weapons for mythic legions and figures of that size. They are scaled to that size, and also the figures can use them no problem. As you can see, if you use them with our action figures, printed action figures, they are going to look massive. So we have special weapons for Charlotte and to scale in a diorama way. So we have several swords, several versions of hands and axes and everything. We have an axe that can be gripped from the top and one that can be gripped from the bottom. We have a scabbard without the sword. We have a scabbard with the sword. We have the sword alone. We have the sword with the hand. So we have a lot of versions of everything, and you can print whatever you want. You can play however you want. This is just to give you options, since for us we already have the file done and it's just posing around some hands. Also, it was a pleasure to pose female hands. It's I don't know, it's nice. It's a really nice change of pace because I'm used to posing big, strong hands, and this was very delicate. It was a really nice process. Also, each action figure will come with magnets, so I also have a specific area of the image that has like a cylinder shape that is to measure the amount of magnets without counting them, because every magnet is 1 millimeter, 3 millimeter wide and 1 millimeter thick. And that connects to everything. For example, you will have the belt, and the belt and the scabbard connect with a magnet, which is great. It works fantastically. So we're going to remove all this here. You will be able to explore it once you download or buy the figure. The belt that goes on the chest, you disconnect one of the arms, you pop the belt on, and you connect the arms. It's basically just as customizing any action figure, but this is 3D printed, which is great. So arms and legs, here you have left and right. Be sure to look closely to the parts, because here is the part that can confuse you a little. But that's why I added letters to the parts, which are left and right. The letters are in areas very small where the supports didn't ruin them. For example, here on the arm, you can find them in the wrist. Then in the upper arm, you can find them in the elbow. And then I think the discs for the arm, you have only left and right for the elbow. The rest you can use in whichever side. The same for the butterfly joints. You can use for whichever side. And then, well, of course, you will understand which hand goes in which side. You have a relaxed hand, you have a like yes sir hand, and then you have like a fist hand. And we don't have grab hands because the hands are already grabbing the items. We realized that if we made the hands to grab and you paint them inside, you will either be scratching the paint on the hand or the paint on the weapon, or both, which would be terrible. So we preferred, since the peg on the hand is very easy to change, and we are giving you a lot of pegs, a lot of discs for each hand, I think there is no need to have different hands for gripping. So then this would be the arm, and then we will talk about the order on how to assemble it. And then you have the legs, also left and right. Here, not only you have left and right on each part written, but also you have everything is divided by left and right on this chart here. So you will be able to identify that there comes the leg, knee, lower knee, and then you have the lower part of the leg, disc, and foot. Once you have the two legs assembled, I always start with the legs, or maybe a bit of the chest, but in the next video I'll start with the legs. You do the legs, you connect them to the T and the hip cover. Once you have that, you can put on here the belt, because putting on the legs with the belt on is very difficult. And once you have that, you will have the T positioned inside, and then you connect this. And from that point onwards, you can assemble the figure as you want, really. What I generally do is I start with the chest, and I connect first the two connectors that go to the arm. I just heat them up because they are very... they heat at a different temperature as the rest of the articulation that we will see in the next video. So I just connect them first, and once I feel that I can pop them in and pop them out easily, I continue with the rest of the parts. And for the leg, I always connect first the peg that connects to the foot, and then the peg that connects to the ankle. Because if you connect the disc that goes into the ankle first and then you connect the foot, you run the risk to wobble the ankle and make it loose. So I'm thinking if there's anything else. Yeah, no, everything else that is occurring to me goes in the next video. So I'll be recording it right now. So see you in the next one. Bye bye.